Okay, hello. It's the day after the snow day, and there is no snow whatsoever. It seems to have completely disappeared. You would not know that half of the nation came to a standstill yesterday. So it's back to a normal winter's day in cold southern England. Yeah, yesterday was a little bit interesting. I had some clients coming in from Northern Ireland actually, and they were supposed to be flying to a local airport. There's an airport about half an hour away from where I am, but they got diverted to Manchester. So Manchester is about maybe a 5-hour drive on a good day away from where I'm based. So yeah, that was a little bit disconcerting, I think, for them. They were expecting half an hour. Their journey time had another 4.5 hours added to it. So yeah, it was an interesting day. I think a lot of people ended up, as you'd expect, taking the day off or not being able to get into work for whatever reason because of the snow. But we seem to have pretty much completely recovered now, and we're back to normal, which is good. It makes life an awful lot more simple, if a little bit more boring. It's good for variety, good to spice things up, keep things different. My plan really for this morning was to have a little bit of a chat about how to pick a career. So I'm thinking in terms of offering just some practical advice from my own experience to young people who maybe you're still at school, you're still studying, maybe you're taking some exams, maybe you're in college, you've already got your degree course underway, or maybe none of the above. Maybe you haven't got a job at the minute. Whatever state you're in, it's a big question. A lot of people ask this question. A lot of people kind of struggle with it and wrestle with it. And I think a lot of people kind of take the approach of needing to work it out really, really early on. You know, when you're 10 years old, you need to know exactly what you're doing. Or they take the approach of kind of leaving it forever and never really working out what you're supposed to be doing. So I think there are probably 2 or 3 different things that I think are really important to look at. The first one would be like what you enjoy doing. You know, that is important. I'm not saying that's the overriding characteristic that you have to look at, but think about what you enjoy doing. Think about what you're actually good at. Think about what you know you're good at, what skill sets you have. Think about, I guess, in the context of that, what you need to be good at. So maybe areas that you need to develop that you don't currently have, skills that you need to work on. And fourthly, so there's more points than I thought, one of the aspects that is really, really important and so heavily neglected is, what do other people want you to do? And that's what everybody seems to forget. So if you look at what you enjoy, let's start with the first one. What you enjoy is important. Nobody wants to be doing a job that they dislike. You know, sometimes it's difficult enough going to work, you know, on that Monday morning when you do actually enjoy your job. If you really dislike your job, that doesn't help. People don't work well, they don't work efficiently, they don't work effectively when they dislike what they're doing. So work out what you enjoy. That doesn't mean in terms of a specific role, because you might not know that yet, but think about questions such as, do I enjoy working as part of a team or alone? Do I enjoy writing? Do I enjoy the sciences? Do I enjoy taking responsibility? Do I work well under pressure? Try and understand more about yourself as an individual and what you like doing before you make those critical decisions on exactly what job it is you do. Also work out then kind of the converse of that, which is what you dislike. If you dislike working as part of a team, if you don't like speaking in public, then you probably don't want to be a TV presenter, for example. So generally try and analyze yourself and understand what you like and what you dislike, and then also what you're good at. People have natural gifts and abilities, and then there are gaps. So if you know roughly where you want to go, in your career, what you want to be, you can work out, you know, this is what I think I'm naturally good at, and these are the skills I have to learn. I think, you know, typical kind of management coaching, they break it down into 3 sections of 3, and they generally say you've got 3 skills that you're born with that you're very good at, you've got 3 skills that you can learn and become good at, and then there are 3 other skills that you should never bother. Just don't try doing it because it won't work for you. So try and divide yourself up into those sections and look at what you think you're good at and where the gaps are and what you think you can become good at. Now the final point is around, what do people want you to do? What do people want you to be good at? And I think that's one of the most important considerations when thinking about careers and what job you want to take on. People focus almost entirely on themselves and say, well, what do I like? What do I want to do? What's going to make me feel good? And that's important. But the problem you have is that if you draw a conclusion from that little bit of self-study that is one that there is no market demand for, then it's a waste of time. So you need to work out what people will pay you for. And that's essentially it. What's the market demand? How do I match my interests, my skill set, my desires with what people will pay me for? So, you know, a ludicrous example, if you really enjoy, you know, underwater basket weaving, that's great and you might like that, but you might need to consider that a hobby rather than a profession, because it's very unlikely that people are going to pay you good money to do underwater basket weaving. So the general advice is, when you're thinking about careers and you're thinking about what you should do, look at yourself in terms of what you like, what you don't like, what skills you have, what skills you think you can attain. But then also go out and just do some research on the market for particular jobs. And you know, you have to factor in a couple of things here. One is the availability of those jobs. If those jobs are kind of, you know, few and far between, and there's only 300 of them in the whole country, then there might be a problem. The other factor is, how much money are you going to make? And that sounds, you know, you could take that in a materialistic way, but that's not in any way the intention. You actually need to work out practically, how much money do you need to be making to live comfortably in the area that you do. I live in southern England. It is really, really expensive to live in southern England. The cost of living is really high, accommodation prices are really high, food is expensive, fuel for your car is expensive. It's just an expensive part of the world. I'm not saying it's the most expensive by any stretch, but it certainly isn't cheap. So that's a factor that I brought into play when I was considering my job options. There is a certain amount of money that you're going to need to make to live comfortably. And look ahead. What's the growth opportunity with that job? Are you going to need to provide for a family? You know, if you in a couple of years' time, you know, if you get married and have some children, that's going to increase your outgoing, and you're going to need more money to cater for that. So think about all those factors, and let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what kind of career ideas you have, what you come up with. I'm really happy to talk about some of the detail that I went through and the thoughts that I've had as far as me analysing what I'm good at, what I'm bad at, a level of self-awareness that I have. And I'll talk about that. But guys, get in the comments, write some comments about your own skill sets. Tell me what you think you're good at. Tell me what you think you're bad at. And where does that lead you? You know, give me some insight into your own lives. I'd be really interested to hear it. Aside from that, on with the rest of the day.